I'm Will.
And I'm Mike.
And this is Vandal Bros Tough Talk.
Remember, this podcast is sponsored by Vandal Athletic Gear.
What are your thoughts on the slap fighting championships?
It's entertaining, but a lot of those guys, they like athletes from another sport. They're not like, I train to slap fight all day, so is it really a sport? Like, because if you look at arm wrestling, like, you know what I'm saying? Those guys train and stuff. But, you know, I'm sure you train for slap fighting, but how you gonna train your face?
Yeah, that's one of the issues I have with it. Like, you make things safer for football, you make things safer for boxing, and you have these commissions, but like slap fighting is just wide open. You have a person holding his hands behind his back or holding a stick or a towel while this other guy's striking him in the face. And to me, that screams concussion.
And you can't tighten your neck.
No, and then if you paid attention to the championship, the guy that won, his face like exploded when the guy slapped him.
That jumped crazy.
And you know, and you look at these purses, you look at the purses of these guys, and they're like $5,000, $6,000, $4,000, and I'm like, yeah, it ain't worth it.
To get slapped like that?
Yeah, it ain't worth it. You know, the guy's face was like looking like Sloth off the Goonies.
The worst part is when they don't get knocked out.
Yeah.
And it just keeps slapping.
And
that's the worst part.
And I think as the sport go on, the techniques will get better.
Right.
Guys will start slapping harder. You seen the Dana White slap series on TV there. The guy, he slapped the one guy, the guy curled up like a dead cockroach.
How do you keep something like that going, you know, where these people can make enough money and sustain a livelihood to help the sport grow? Because if it's just these little behind purses, you know, cheap fairground slap competitions, I ain't saying they might be in the city hall or something more glamorous than that, but you know, they're not in Madison Square Garden.
No, I think slap fighting itself has to have a good draw, because I believe it started over in Russia or somewhere, and now it's over in the United States. So the draw must be there, but the purses are ridiculous. I mean, $5,000.
That's pretty sorry.
Yeah, that's to get slapped like that. I mean, I don't see the longevity in it. And you're just taking open strikes to the face, to the dome piece,
right, and
you're letting somebody just, you know, pretty much, let's see if you can give me a concussion. How hard can you hit me?
Bare knuckle fighting make more sense than that.
Well, yeah, because you can defend yourself.
Right.
You know, and in bare knuckle also, they don't just let you sit there and you know, the guy's arms are down by his side and you just keep striking him in the face. You know what I mean?
It's a rough.
Yeah, slap fighting is not something I see that's going to be around for a long time.
Yeah, I agree with that, man, because it's just something that's entertaining. I don't think it'll ever reach the upper echelons of sports.
Yeah, I just think it's a blimp on the radar. A little blimp. Is entertaining. People get knocked out. Guys' legs are curling up, arms are curling up, and people are laughing. I think once that right there subsides, I think slap fighting will be done with.
Yeah, it'll just be like small town people doing them.
My thing is, like, I don't even see why people would want to do something like that. Like,
imagine making your living off of that.
Yeah, just getting slapped in the face. And if you look at these slapping competitors, they're not slapping in the face. They're slapping along the ear.
Yeah.
They're slapping along, you know, those areas that can knock your equilibrium off. So they're not just, they got technique when it comes to slapping.
Oh, I'm sure they got technique. That I will not be seeing. Or would you do this? Would you become a professional slap fighter?
And how long do you think this will last?
Remember, this podcast is sponsored by Vandal Athletic Gear.
Vandal Bros out.